My name is Reverend Bill McDonald. I live in California, which is part of the United States. When I was a child, I was 8.5 years old, and I got very, very sick, ill. I was dying. I went to the doctors. They took me to a hospital in San Jose, California. Did some kind of procedures and took some fluids out of my lungs, big needles in my back, and then they put me in a bed and turned the lights off. And I'm laying there that night, and breathing is getting harder and harder and harder. And I felt myself kind of flowing out of my body. It was like my part of me wanted to leave. And it was totally dark. Next thing I know, I'm actually feel myself floating with no body weight, with no body, just in it, I'm just, and I know that the body is below me, and the room is starting to light up. I mean, it's getting lighter and lighter and lighter. And I look down at the body and I'm going, that ain't me. That's a poor 8.5 year old body down there, but it's not me. And the body wasn't breathing, and the body had no blood pressure, it had no heartbeat. The body was dead. And there I am realizing that, well, it's only the body that's dead, but consciousness, my awareness of who I am and where I am and what I am, was still alive. I was still connected to the universe, the cosmos. I was connected. And I felt great love, and all it's imagine 1 million Vietnamese grandmothers hugging you and holding you and telling you they love you. That's how it felt. And all of a sudden there's these clouds, like you're flying in an airplane, you see all the clouds on white cloud. It was like billowing clouds, all the walls lit up. Instead of having a life review backwards, I have a life preview forwards 50 years. I'm looking at this, I see this girl, this high school girl, and I go, she's gonna be my wife someday. That's actually true. We met at 14, 1960. So that's 63 years ago. We're married, and we're still here. So anyway, so I knew who I was going to marry. I saw my children. I saw where I was going to live, and I shared with you a story about where I was going to be charged with mutiny for refusing a direct order to fire my machine gun in Vietnam, and it ended up saving 30-something children. And one of the reasons for that was when I was in the helicopter, I remembered, can't do this. I remembered this is not what it looks like. This is not the enemy down there. Nobody's shooting at you. Even though I'm having a commanding officer, a major, saying, fire, fire, they say, fire, fire. And I go, no, sir, no, no. And I was threatened with, I was told that I was going to be court-martialed. And in the U.S. Army, you refuse an order in combat, that could be death penalty or life in jail. No small thing. I mean, they take it very serious. And I said, no, sir, I refuse. I knew it was wrong. So my gunner on the other side, he surprised me because he says, hey, I've been flying with McDonald here for 6 months. He says, if he feels something or he senses something, I'm going to trust him. And he refused. So then both of us going to be charged with mutiny, So finally, we talked the guy into going down and checking in, and it turned out it was a Catholic priest in black, outfit, walking all these children in black pajamas, and they all had shovels and rakes on their shoulder. They were going from this little hamlet to a vegetable garden down this dirt road. There was 30-something kids, and anyway. So had I not been there and it been somebody else, it would have been a different result. Not that anybody was evil or had bad intentions, but it was like They weren't listening to their heart. They weren't listening to the soul music that runs through them, you know. And so from this vision forward, that was one of the things that changed. Obviously, it saved lives by me having that vision. Everything in your life, believe it or not, comes to you because at some level of your life, you have manifested that. You've manifested everything in your life, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything. So people go, because you got people in America and in Europe, they will they will take a what they call a dream chart or something, board. They'll put a picture of a car and they want a new job and they want money and they want a boyfriend and they focus on these things and they try to manifest these things by focusing on them, seeing themselves use. That works. But I tell people, you want to manifest something, manifest peace, joy, love, forgiveness, manifest happiness. Most people spend their time manifesting things, but everything that happens to you has been manifested because how you think, what you read, what you watch in a movie. People go, "Oh, I watch this movie. There's all this violence," and it has an effect on you because your mind is manifesting all these weird things. So, what you eat, what you desire, what you wish for, your past lives, karma. So everything is part of this manifesting process. It's not just sitting down and thinking, I'm going to do that. But I'll tell you this. Uh, I was giving there was a group of Germans in India. They were staying at the ashram. And I was telling them about manifesting, I can manifest things and stuff. But I tell them the most important thing is to manifest love. Anyway, so they weren't paying attention to me. They got locked out of they were staying in a little hut, with a steel door, and it had a bolt. Somehow they closed the door. The first time in the history of the ashram, the door locked from the inside, and they couldn't get it open. The steel door banging on. And I come over to them because they're making noise, and they go, "Oh, we're locked out." And I said, "Don't worry about it. I'll manifest this thing open in the morning." And they just laughed. And then they slept someplace else. In the morning, I go over there and I just door. You could bang on it all day long. It wasn't going to come open. I just in my mind, it was already open. I just put my fingertips on the door, and the door flew open like boom. And of course, nobody was there to see it. So these guys come down from the temple and they go, "Oh, the door's open. We were praying about that up there. We were manifesting that." I said, "Really? Okay." So I sat in a little chair outside their thing, and they went inside, got something, came out, and the door shut again, and it locked. And I said, "Okay, show me how you manifested that." And in 20 minutes, these guys pounded on the door, kicking, end up with about 10, 12 people there watching all this. And after everybody gets through, I said, "Okay, nobody can open the door, right?" I said, "Now watch this." And I just took it. I just touched 3, 4 fingers on the door, and the door just flew open. The bolt was open and everything else. And I go, "That's how you manifest." But you can manifest anything: jobs, money, health. But it's more powerful to manifest love for others and for yourself, and realize that even when you don't think you're manifesting, you are, just by the nature of your thoughts. So be careful what you think about. So if you're angry and hateful and you haven't forgiven somebody, you're manifesting bad, negative energy. It's going to come back and get you some way. Maybe affects your health, maybe affects a fight. Something will happen from that. What you manifest and you give to others, you get back. If you send out hate and anger, you get back, and more than you send out. It's greater. So if you're sending out love and forgiveness, that's what you get back. So I tell people, Reverend Bill's rules. Rule number 1, you got to love everybody. That's the rule. But rule number 2 is you don't have to like everybody. There's a difference. There's some people, yeah, you gotta love them because they're children of God. We're all one, right? But you don't like what they do, you don't like what they say, you don't like being around them, and that's okay. You don't have to like them, but you gotta love them at that spiritual level. But you don't have to be around them. So love people, but if somebody is not good for you, don't be there. Don't hang around. So two simple rules. You gotta love everybody, but you don't have to like everybody. Simple as that. What you give to others is what you get back. You're not here to be understood, but to understand others. You're not here to get, but to give. And when you live your life that way, the joy and the goodness and the love of the universe will flow to you. Meditation is the foundation for spiritual life. But a lot of people do a formal meditation, at night before they go to bed, in the morning before they start their day. And I'm trying to tell people it's also important to live this spiritual life in between those meditation times. You don't need a special time to spend with God. It's about love. So if you truly love God and you're meditating to love God and be loved by God, then that's the greatest way to advance. But simply meditation is about calming the mind, calming the breath, trying to get the thoughts away, right? And if you don't have a technique, you'll be fighting those thoughts forever. Like, for example, if I told you, you want to become a saint, don't think about monkeys jumping on a bed. And once I tell you you can't think about that, if you do that, you're going to make it. That's all you can think about. Well, I'm not going to think about it. You're going to think about it. You can't get those thoughts out of your head. So emptying the mind, I found the easiest way to do that is to fill it with love. And so love is a great meditation. And depending on your religious beliefs, I don't care if you could do it with Buddha, you can do it with Jesus, you can do it with anybody you think is a spiritual thing. You don't even have to have a vision of God. You can just say your soul, the cosmic consciousness, just the oneness. It doesn't matter. But you have to fall in love with that divine force. So the simplest meditations are to take, if you're into religion at all, take any statue, picture, anything that means anything to you religiously, and you put it in front of you in a darkened room, put some candles in front of it, and stare at it. Just focus. Focus on a picture of Buddha, Jesus, doesn't matter, whatever, Krishna, doesn't matter. Focus, focus. And just all your thoughts. I love you. I love you, God. I love you, Jesus. I love you, Buddha. Whatever it is, that's your that's your inner mantra that's going on. That's an old Indian from India, and an old Christian meditation is just to meditate on an object and focus on that. That's the simplest. There are much better ways to go on the breath, what they call the Hong Sa technique, the Om technique, Kriya Yoga, all these things, which we can come back and discuss because you're talking about something that's people get hung up on the techniques and then they're using their mind too much. They're analyzing it and then they're analyzing how well they're doing the meditation and everything else. But meditation gives you focus if you want to study and you want to learn. If you're going to school, most especially, you're going to a job, meditating in the morning just sets up that energy in your mind, that frequency in your mind where you're receptive. It's You've calmed the mind so it can receive better. So actually, if you want to start your day with love and purpose, I always start my day with a prayer to the divine, use me. Whoever needs help, I'm there. Use me. Give me the wisdom I need. Give me the tools I need. Give me the courage I need. I never pray to God to take away my problems. I just ask for tools to handle them. So if I come back again, we can talk about prayer. We can talk about meditation. We can talk about a particular one or two techniques. If people want to join this in a group thing, that we can do that, or you can share this with others, either way. But yeah, meditation uh, changes your life. It gives you focus, gives you calmness. There's people that say, well, I meditate with music or nature. Well, no, you relax with music and you relax out, taking a walk in nature or something, or the ocean. Those are beautiful things that relax you and calm your mind. But it's not like a real deep meditation where the sole focus is to love God. That's it. It's to focus on loving God. And you don't need a religion. You don't need any dogma. You don't need any beliefs. Just believe in love. That's it. Nothing else matters. So I'm out there now basically going around the world telling people that love is the greatest power. Love is what heals. Love is what brings people together. But when you separate people by religions and countries and all these race and all these other things, when you start separating people, it's not always a peaceful result. When people learn that everybody everywhere is one, may look different, culture may seem different, but in the end, everybody likes to be loved, everybody likes to be hugged, everybody likes to have that spiritual journey. And it doesn't matter if they have religion or not, people are looking for something beyond themselves. And I tell people it's not beyond you, it's within you. There's no teacher out there, there's no guru out there, there's no healer out there that's going to save you. It's all here, it's all you. And so when you recognize that and begin to love yourself, forgive yourself, and appreciate everything that you ever had, that's where you become truly a loving, healing soul. And when you become that, you're able to give that to others. So if you don't love you, you can't love anybody else. I want to thank those that listened in on this. I hope that I was speaking slow enough and good enough English. Uh, but I appreciate you guys being curious. I hope this answers some questions. I got a feeling this may open up more questions. And if you send me a message through my website, I will answer them and I will reply to you. So blessings and peace, and thank you for allowing me to tell my stories.